The United States and Iran have formally signed a Pakistan-mediated peace framework, but uncertainty remains over how the deal will be implemented and whether fighting in Lebanon will actually stop. Thursday marked a major diplomatic moment for Pakistan as the Islamabad Memorandum of Understanding was electronically signed by US President Donald Trump, Iranian President Pezeshkian, and Prime Minister Shehbaz. The agreement lays out a framework to end the US-Iran war, reopen the Strait of Hormuz, and launch a 60-day negotiating process aimed at reaching a broader settlement. Pakistan, alongside Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and other regional partners, played a central role in facilitating the talks. As part of the agreement, the United States lifted its blockade of Iranian ports, while Iran moved to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. The waterway handles roughly one-fifth of global oil and gas trade and had been heavily disrupted since the conflict escalated earlier this year. Early signs of recovery emerged as several oil tankers resumed passage through the strait. Markets reacted positively to the agreement. Brent crude dropped to its lowest level since the start of the conflict, as traders priced in the return of Gulf energy exports and reduced risks to global supply chains. Analysts say full normalization could still take weeks, but the immediate pressure on energy markets has eased. Despite the agreement, violence in Lebanon remains a major concern. Israeli forces carried out fresh airstrikes on Thursday, even as the memorandum calls for the permanent termination of the war in Lebanon and respect for the country's sovereignty. Israel has indicated it has no plans to withdraw its troops from southern Lebanon and has released maps showing an expanded military buffer zone. A planned signing ceremony and follow-up talks in Switzerland were effectively overtaken after the agreement was signed remotely. US Vice President Vance cancelled his expected trip to Switzerland, with the White House saying the formal signing plans were no longer necessary after both presidents signed electronically. US Vice President Vance defended the agreement and delivered a rare public rebuke of Israeli politicians who criticized the deal. Vance said Iran would only receive benefits if it complied with its commitments and stressed that verification, not promises, would determine success. He also suggested Israeli leaders should be cautious about publicly attacking Washington, calling the United States Israel's most important ally.
I don't want to get into hypotheticals that could torpedo the deal, because I think the president's expectation is that all of our friends, the Israelis, the Arabs in the region, we're going to work together and actually see this deal to completion. Now, I saw the Axios report, that Netanyahu is fuming. That's not reflective of the conversations that I've had with him, but maybe he's saying something to somebody else that he's not saying to me. What I will say, and this does bother me, is that you've seen people within Bibi's cabinet who have come out and attacked the deal, and in some ways very personally attacked the President of the United States. And I guess my message to them would be twofold. Number one, Donald J. Trump is the only head of state in the entire world who is sympathetic to the nation of Israel at this moment in time. And he happens to be the head of state of the world's superpower. If I was in the cabinet of the Israeli government, I might not be attacking the only powerful ally that I have anywhere left in the entire world. And the second message I would give to some of those cabinet members, Bibi, to his credit, has not gone down this path, but to some of these cabinet members in Israel who are attacking the President of the United States, the other thing that I would say is that over the last 3 months, 2/3 of the defensive weapons that have protected your homeland have been built by American hands and paid for by American tax dollars. The problem for Israel is not Donald J. Trump. And anybody in Israel who thinks their biggest problem is the President of the United States needs to wake up and smell the reality of the situation that country is in. Thank you all.
Implementation talks were expected to begin in Switzerland, but logistical disagreements have already emerged. Iran signaled it wants to see evidence that the United States is fulfilling its commitments before moving forward with the next phase of negotiations. At the same time, President Trump warned that military action remains an option if the agreement fails. The most difficult issues remain unresolved. Negotiators now have 60 days to discuss Iran's nuclear program, sanctions relief, inspections, and other long-standing disputes. The International Atomic Energy Agency says it is ready to begin technical discussions with both sides. For now, the signing of the Islamabad Memorandum offers a rare opening for diplomacy after months of conflict. But with tensions persisting in Lebanon and major questions still unanswered, the next phase of negotiations may prove even more challenging in securing the deal itself.